Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. That's the Aston Martin flagship convertible. They dropped this Superleggera title because at 2 tons it's not exactly a lightweight car. I quite like that style, but I'm still not keen on that black front. And would I have one? Probably, but I'd get one with the optional Aston Martin grille if I could. Anyway. Those of you who are following the MGTOW philosophy around the world know that it's been under constant attack, but even though the media and the academics are still attacking the MGTOW philosophy, it's still growing exponentially through the quote manosphere, or most likely the general population of the world. But these attacks still continue, so I found this. This is ResearchGate Net, and as you can see it says men not going their own way, a big thick data analysis of MGTOW and feminism tweets. Now this is a leftish academia type attack. Her and him, that's the Polish University, Komelsky, and that's also a research institute based in Poland. If you want to read the whole thing, you'd have to download that, but it's all general left-wing anti-MGTOW bullshit, so I wouldn't if I were you. As you can see, it says online MGTOW is growing at an alarming rate, constituting a violent backlash against feminist activism for gender equality. Well, what's feminists are saying? We hate all men, we don't like men, we don't need no men. So if that's what they consider activism for gender equality, fair enough. But then men would say, well, we don't need women, we'll just go our own way, mind our own business and look after ourselves. As it continues on, in our paper we analyse misogynistic discourses on Twitter generated by MGTOW using thick big data. Mixed research involved a quantitative analysis of 167,582 tweets, with MGTOW and feminism followed by quantitative study of 1,000 tweets, both of hashtags. Our study revealed that despite the official narrative of MGTOW, I wasn't aware MGTOW had a narrative, it's just a philosophy. As a separatist community, it's not a separatist community. It's just guys that decided that odds are stacked against them with dating, marriage and families and children, and they're on the losing end, so they decide to go their own way. Central goal is the fight against gender equality, the quantitative and qualitative analysis of the language, sentiment, tone, reference sources and comparisons between MGTOW and feminism shows that MGTOW does not simply voice a separatist approach. Again, it's not a separatist approach, it's just a philosophy towards women, but promotes violence against women and feminism, and then the usual bullshit. While feminist tweets are more orientated towards creation of common identity. What about these feminist tweets that all men must die? And that's it. Not much to get through, but you get the tone that it's all anti-men, men are all bad, etc., etc. This also comes into the British national press. Now, the Independent isn't really independent. Like the Guardian, it's a leftish-leaning rag masquerading as a newspaper, and it's also anti-man and specifically anti-MGTOW. As you can see, it says Generation Tate, as in Andrew Tate. How can we stop losing vulnerable men to the manosphere? Try to ignore it, we like, but young men across the world are being seduced by the misogynistic conspiratorial teachings of influencers, writes Matthew Neil. Let's see what he looks like. Nope, no picture of him. but he's probably a leftish anyway. Is early comparison the way to stop it? Is early compassion the way to stop it? Now, this was written on Friday the 13th, Black Friday, on this year. And there's Andrew Tate, tells it like it is. The only reference to MGTOW is, if I can find it, down. I'll have to go Control F. It's that because I had a look before. There we go. Get rid of that. General divide is a key storytelling facet of every corner of the manosphere. The loose web of right-wing acronym-obsessed groups, we're not a group, it's just a general philosophy, who oppose feminism and claim to advocate for men. These include MRAs, MGTOW, PUAs, incels. As they tell it, men were once real men who stalked the earth in an unspecified halcyon era of masculine dominance. No, it's just the way society was. Chain-smoking cigars and coming home to subservient, family-oriented wives who also understood their place in the world. What bollocks. While many men may feel confused about how to express their identity within the complex framework of masculinity today, the conservative fantasy that older generations were happy and secure in their roles remains a potent myth. No, the people in the past realized the way that things were. Women knew that men were providers. Men knew the thing was to get a wife and look after her and provide for her. So you have a family. That's how humanity evolved from the caves to a present day. Of course, there's always bad eggs in both sides, but in general, human society followed along that fact. Women stay at home and raise the children, and men provide for it. My parents were the same. Mum never went out to work, but Dad went out to work, but we have a happy home, and was three of us, with me being the youngest one. Anyway, in fact it says if you ask men a generation or two further back who were willing to be open and honest, a lot of them didn't actively have very happy relationships being in that clear fixed role. That is debatable. Ross says he cites Willie Loman, the protagonist of Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman, an example of the life that frequently played behind closed doors. He's utterly miserable but determined to be the provider, this embodiment of the American dream, and it's killing him. Proof that we make men's right activist narratives so appealing is that they acknowledge the rates of depression, suicide and incarnation of men. Well, most divorces are triggered by women these days. But loads of women are also miserable. Where have all the good men gone, they say. Figures which are real and terrifying, but then they weave a fictitious global conspiracy around them. No, we just see how things are. Tate occasionally talks in paranoid terms of the Matrix coming to get him, implying an Illuminati-style conspiracy in which the world is neatly divided into historic truth-tellers, such as the ones who throw money at bored-looking women, at bizarrely low-budget rap videos, and the shady liberal elite who want to silence them. And then it goes on and on and on. And, whoops. The Andrew Tates of the world would proudly display their venom for all to see. More like, if you listen to him, he just tells it how it is in the data market. But the reality is that the world is full of men looking for a quick buck on the promise that Instagram-ready success is yours for the taking. Instagram is mostly the domain of women, not guys. But anyway, as you can read the whole thing yourself. It's a load of bollocks, most of this, but then it is by the Independent. but it seems that the attacks on the manosphere, and MGTOW in particular, is still unrelenting, but that's not stopping MGTOW's philosophy expanding around the Western world, and with the birth rate declining in America and the Western world, and especially in Japan, this is not going to stop it till the tables are balanced out and the world gets back to the usual thing, which is women produce children, men produce the resources to run the family, and women look after the children, and men provide for them to do so. All these women in corporate who are 40 and 50 that can't get no man, they're all finding out that they've made the wrong turn in their life, and with this bank closing in America and the coming recession coming to America and the Western world, women are going to get a valuable life lesson. But the people like this independent journalist, they think that Andrew Tate there is the bad guy for spreading the truth about the male-female relationships and dating. If you ever listen to him, he speaks a lot of truth, but the left just don't like it. And the feminists are in bed with the left, so there you go. Sorry it's a bit iffy, but I couldn't find much at all because I've been looking for Star Wars stuff and this at the same time. But anyway, I think I'm getting on the 10-minute mark now, so you know the routine. Like, dislike, comment, subscribe. It's completely up to you. So until next Sunday, which I might do some more Star Wars, or next Monday when I try and do some more MGTOW stuff, that's it for this one. Bye-bye.